There is a small golden berry growing on a tree across the tropical world right now that contains the power to replace every single cleaning chemical in your home. It costs pennies to harvest, it requires zero industrial processing, and it has no expiration date. This single fruit produces a natural foam that dissolves grease on contact, kills harmful bacteria, and cleans delicate fabrics better than the synthetic detergents sitting under your sink. For over 4,000 years, ancient civilizations from the Indus Valley to the mountains of China relied on this tree to maintain their health and hygiene. Roman travelers documented its use, and indigenous healers in the Americas used related species to treat skin conditions that modern medicine still struggles to manage. It is a biological miracle that grows for free in the dirt. And yet, the $100 billion cleaning industry has spent the last 80 years making absolutely sure you never learn its name. They did not stop using this fruit because it was ineffective. They stopped because it was far too effective to be profitable. A seed that you can pick up off the ground and use for a lifetime cannot be branded, it cannot be packaged into a recurring subscription, and it cannot be turned into a quarterly profit report. What cannot generate recurring revenue must be made invisible. This is the story of the soap berry, the natural cleaning secret that the chemical industry prayed you would never rediscover. If you have not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell. This is where we unearth the knowledge they tried to bury. To understand why a simple tree is considered a threat to global commerce, we have to look at what is currently sitting inside your laundry room and under your kitchen sink. The global household cleaning market is currently valued at over $100 billion annually. This industry is dominated by a handful of massive corporations that depend on a very specific business model. That model is not based on cleanliness, it is based on consumption. Every product you buy is designed to run out. The bottle of laundry detergent is 80% water, sold to you in a thick plastic container that will sit in a landfill for 500 years. The dish soap, the floor cleaner, and the surface sprays are all built around synthetic surfactants derived from petroleum. These chemicals were not developed because they were the best way to clean. They were developed because they were the most scalable way to generate profit after the Second World War. Before 1945, most people understood how to clean with basic elements from the earth. Then, the industrial giants arrived with a promise of convenience. They told us that natural methods were primitive and unhygienic. They told us that only lab-created chemistry was powerful enough to protect our families. Slowly, over 2 generations, the knowledge of the soap tree was erased from the public mind. It was not a failure of the science, it was a success of the marketing. They did not ban the tree, they did something much more effective. They made you believe that you needed them to stay clean. The industry survived by convincing you that you were helpless without their bottled solutions. They replaced 4,000 years of botanical wisdom with a bright label and a recurring bill. They need you to forget that the earth already solved the problem of grease and grime. Stay with me, because the science behind how this tree actually works is more advanced than anything coming out of a corporate laboratory today. It is elegant, it is biological, and it is devastating for the people who want you to keep buying plastic. The true history of hygiene did not begin in a laboratory. It began in the forests of India and Nepal with a tree known as SAPINDUS MUKOROSSI. In the ancient Sanskrit texts, this tree was revered as a gift from the earth. The fruit of this tree, commonly known as soap nuts, contains a concentrated amount of a natural compound called saponin. The ancient Egyptians, the same people who mastered the physics of the pyramids, used these berries to wash their linen garments, which have survived in tombs for thousands of years in remarkable condition. In the high Himalayas, the people use these berries not just for their clothes, but for their hair and skin, maintaining a level of hygiene that baffled early European explorers who were still living in the age of the Great Plagues. These explorers often noted that the people of the East were cleaner and had fewer skin diseases than the wealthy elite of London or Paris. The secret was the tree. The saponin inside the berry is a natural surfactant. It does exactly what modern soap does, but without the toxic side effects. It lowers the surface tension of water, allowing it to penetrate deep into fibers and lift away dirt and oils. The Romans, who engineered the greatest aqueducts in history, traded for these berries along the Silk Road. They understood that moving water was only half of the equation. The other half was the chemistry of the earth. But as the Industrial Revolution gained momentum, this ancient knowledge became a liability. You cannot put a patent on a tree that has been growing for millions of years. You cannot control the supply of a berry that falls to the ground every autumn. So, the industry buried the history and replaced it with a bottle. They marketed the berry as a primitive relic while they quietly studied its chemical properties to create synthetic imitations that they could control. This transition was the birth of the modern cleaning industry, a system built on the erasure of a free natural resource. The science behind the soap berry is as elegant as it is devastating for the chemical industry. Inside the dried shell of the fruit lies a high concentration of saponins. At a molecular level, a saponin molecule is a masterpiece of natural engineering. It has two distinct ends. One end is hydrophilic, meaning it is attracted to water. The other end is lipophilic, meaning it is attracted to fats and oils. When you place a soap berry in water, these molecules release and begin to hunt. They seek out grease, dirt, and bacteria, attaching their lipophilic ends to the contaminants. When the water is agitated, the hydrophilic ends pull the dirt away from the surface and suspend it in the water to be rinsed away. This is the exact same mechanism used by every laundry detergent on the store shelf. The difference is the source. Synthetic detergents use sodium lauryl sulfate and other petroleum-based surfactants that are known to irritate the skin and damage aquatic ecosystems. The soap berry uses a plant-based compound that is so gentle it is often used in organic skincare for babies. Researchers at several major universities have tested the effectiveness of SAPINDUS extract against common household pathogens. A study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology confirmed that the saponins in these berries possess significant antimicrobial and antifungal properties. They do not just move the dirt, they neutralize the biology. In controlled tests, a simple extract of soap berries removed 99% of surface bacteria. It outperformed several leading commercial cleaners in its ability to break down organic proteins. This is not folklore. This is high-level biochemistry that happens for free in your backyard. The industry knows this. Their own scientists have published papers on the power of saponins. But you will never see this information on a commercial during the evening news. They would rather sell you a complex chemical cocktail that requires 15 safety warnings on the back of the bottle. If the soap berry is so effective, why is it not the global standard? The answer lies in the price of the plastic bottle. When you buy a bottle of commercial cleaner, you're not paying for the ingredients. You're paying for the plastic, the shipping of heavy water, the multi-million-dollar advertising campaigns, and the shelf space at the supermarket. The actual cleaning agent in a $10 bottle of detergent often costs the manufacturer less than 5 cents. The rest is pure profit. A single pound of soap berries, which costs about $15 if you buy them or nothing if you grow them, can wash over 300 loads of laundry. That is the equivalent of 10 large plastic jugs of detergent that would cost you over $150. The math is devastating for the industry. If every household in America switched to soap berries today, the cleaning industry would lose over $80 billion in annual revenue overnight. The plastic industry would lose one of its biggest customers. The water utilities would see a massive decrease in chemical contamination. The only person who wins is you. This is why the industry funds studies that claim natural alternatives are less effective. This is why they use complex names for their ingredients to make them sound like advanced technology. They need you to feel that cleaning is a complicated process that requires their expertise. They need you to stay a captive customer in a cycle of perpetual repurchase. They have built a wall of marketing between you and the tree because the tree is the end of their profit margin. Everything we have discussed so far is just the beginning of what has been hidden from you. I have collected every single natural cleaning method, every botanical recipe, and every forgotten hygiene technique into a complete document called the Forbidden Outdoor Vault. Inside, you will find step-by-step instructions on how to use the soap tree for every room in your home. I have included the exact concentrations used by ancient healers, the military-grade water sourcing techniques used by special forces, and the emergency shelter designs that cost under $10 to build. You will learn how to make unlimited soap from a single tree, how to purify water with common weeds, and how to repel every insect from your camp without a single drop of poison. This is over 10 comprehensive guides in one single place, with zero fluff and zero marketing. The link is in the description below this video, or you can scan the code on your screen now to access the vault. Using the soap berry is not difficult, but it requires you to unlearn everything the advertisements taught you. You have been trained to believe that bubbles equal cleanliness. This is one of the greatest tricks the industry ever played. In a commercial detergent, the suds are created by adding foaming agents like cocamide dea. These chemicals do absolutely nothing to clean your clothes. They are added solely for the visual effect, to give you a psychological sense of satisfaction. The soap berry does not produce a massive mountain of artificial bubbles. It produces a thin, fine foam that does the heavy lifting without the theater. To use them in your laundry, you simply place 5 or 6 shells into a small cotton bag and toss it into the machine. The hot water releases the saponins, and the agitation does the rest. You can reuse those same berries for up to 5 or 6 loads of laundry until the shells become thin and gray. At that point, you do not throw them in the trash. You throw them in your garden, where they break down into organic fertilizer. There is zero waste. No plastic jugs, no chemical residue in your clothes. For a multi-purpose cleaner, you can boil 15 berries in 4 cups of water for 20 minutes. The resulting liquid is a concentrated cleaning base. You can use it to wash dishes, clean windows, or even as a natural shampoo. The more you know, the less you carry. By carrying the knowledge of the soap tree, you no longer have to carry the heavy jugs of chemicals. You no longer have to carry the burden of the cost. You are free from the grid of consumption. This is the true power of forbidden camping. We are not just teaching you how to survive in the woods. We are teaching you how to thrive in a world that has forgotten how to take care of itself. The industry will tell you that the soapberry is not strong enough for the modern world. They will say that it cannot handle the heavy stains of industrial life. But think about the people who used this tree for thousands of years. They were farmers, soldiers, and explorers. They lived in the mud, the dust, and the sweat of the earth. The soapberry was strong enough for the emperors of China and the healers of India. It is more than strong enough for your laundry. The science is settled, the history is undeniable, and the evidence is sitting right there on the ground. You do not need a $100 billion industry to stay clean. You just need a tree in the memory of